On the radio.
What's up, Deb? Bryce is in the house. Man, hope everybody's staying warm. Had a few minutes to spare here in between 101s and, man, I've been talking a lot, teaching between 101s and doing the in person trainings. And we're doing dispatch training this week in class. And I wanted to jump on. Me and Frank are going to be, are you still sick? No, I'm not sick. I'm just like talking too much. And I'm getting better. So I wanted to come on and talk because, it's like I usually come on like Saturdays. Sometimes I come on Mondays. Sometimes it's Wednesdays. And really, I don't like me and Frank do the live shows on Fridays. And then I have the topics I like to come on and do Q&As on the brokers or trucking or authority week. And it's we keep coming up with these different things to talk about. Everything's going on. Like you got the stuff in Canada going on. Deb's involved with the stuff in California that's going on, and a lot of different things are changing. And people get tired of stuff. Those same things, they get wore out, and it's crazy. But one thing that hasn't changed with all the outside world going the way it is, the one thing that hasn't changed is that markets are definitely changing and turning every day. Like it's weird. There's some people out there that are just knocking it out of the park. There's some people out there that are losing their ass. Hi, Emily. Hope you're doing great. Some people out there losing their butt. And guys, you can share the videos. You guys cannot share the videos. And if you guys, but I like coming on and giving great information. And I have a lot to think about, right? Because I wanted to. Rebecca says I have a lot to think about. Hold pause right there. Hi, I'm looking to book a consultation with you regarding running the business and staying compliant DOD. Would you be able to help with that? I would be able to help with that. Just go to shaggyconsulting.com. That's why we're here. Matter of fact, just because of Rebecca. What's up? Um, it's crazy because one thing that hasn't changed, even though with all the stuff in Canada and California and everything else, hasn't changed. It's like we're into a new year and everything's still crazy. Like people, every day I look at the new MC authority list and there's like 700 people still getting new authorities. Trucks haven't got any cheaper. They actually seem like they're getting higher. Inflation's getting more expensive. Food and grocery stores, the ports are still backed up. People are not going to work. Trailers you can't find. There's what's up, Frank 3? There's trailers you can't find. Brokers are still pouring in. Like, I mean, it's like a fucking unbelievable, man. There's more dispatching services and classes and more call centers being opened up. Oh, that's like because the money's good. Like, the money can only be the gold rush can only be so long, right? Tiana Marley. The Facebook can only be so good, right? Or so the gold rush can only be so long. I mean, like, do you guys not listen to a lot of these people that are calling like the telemarketing? Like they have no communication, no conversation. It's like you need help, you need freight, you need money. We have trucks, we move your freight. That's as far as it goes. And it's crazy. And then a lot of the other stuff's getting so automated. Um, but with the spot market going to crap, we have 700 new authorities coming in, and it still fucking amazes me how people are coming in and they don't build no network. They don't have any relationships. They have no plan. They're not doing anything. They're just buying ridiculous trucks. They don't listen to the part about learning about insurance. You don't listen to the part about knowing about direct bill or finance or where do I start. What's the difference between company, truck, lease, purchase, owner operator? Hell, half the people out there you see them posting these groups. I'm so tired of seeing people post and saying we're looking for owner operators to dispatch for. No, you're looking for the carriers. Owner operators lease to the carriers, and carriers should already have their own dispatching. You want to work for the carrier, not the owner operator. Yes, you could work for the owner operator, but hopefully you'd have a carrier. A lot of them don't even know the basic truck language. It's horrible too. And it's getting worse. Like like half the people in the United States, you're either using a dispatching service or you're using somebody that is a dispatcher. Is it a bad time right now to get in the trucking, old buddy? I don't think it's a bad time to get in trucking, what you do with trucking to get in and how you do it. Because if you're somebody out there right now that doesn't have trailers, or you guys are looking to do dry van, like get into dry van type freight in a market in February right now, and you don't have any relationships, I probably would be working really hard to pay attention to what's going on because you're either following term sonar freight waves or your sonar freight waves or you're following DAT or Internet Truck Stop, one of these markets that does truck ratios, 15-day averages, where these motherfuckers swear by it, But it's not like that because in certain areas on the load boards, if you could call brokers after brokers and they're not giving up the money no more, then what are you supposed to do? What people are doing is they're going on Facebook and these places and they're telling everybody they're cheap. They're cheap bastards, right? You're fucking cheap people because you don't know how to negotiate. And the brokers are crook because they're keeping the money because you need this certain number. Well, news to you, not everybody needs a certain number. Not everybody works for $40 an hour. I mean, if everybody needed the same fucking number, why don't we all just go out there and say, let's make it a union, everybody gets $100 an hour, call it good, that's good, we're good. We all work 40 hours a week and we're happy with it. You can't because certain people have different lifestyles. Certain people need different things. But what you can do is choose who the fuck you work for and what relationships you build, where you run. Hell, we were on the boards last night in my group alone with a bunch of rookie first time dispatchers just screwing around on the load board. And we went around in a triangle, a bow tie, and we did like $9,600 with brokers that we could call. And what's crazy is we're not even working with all of them. We don't even take the time. We're so caught up with DAT and the spot market bull crap and what it shows you and chasing the numbers and freight chasing. And it's worse because of the call centers and the dispatching services don't even know what they're doing and freaking all these double brokering and fucking factoring companies that are now freaking scams too. I mean, I don't get it. I don't even understand. All it takes you is a few minutes to take time to do real networking and understanding how to call, do the research, how to call a carrier up and ask him why he's hauling. We have so much great technology like ecarriercheck.com. Like to be able to go out there and look and see what customers are working with, what carriers and what size, and be able to know that there's more brokers and customers in Dallas than what we thought there was because we could find them in one location. Shit, for years, I thought the only brokers in Dallas were the ones that posted on load board. When I knew there was 2,200 more brokers in a 50-mile radius of one city that didn't work, I'm like, well, how have they been in business so long? Who the hell are they pulling for? We have broker class coming up on February 21st, and it's not like any other broker class. Our guys are confused when they leave, especially when they do dispatching first, because they understand that dispatching is hard. How do you guys ever learn how to build a product or actually build relationships when you're using a dispatching service? Because the only reason it's working while you're with them, it's great when you're making money, but when the DAT load board goes to shit and no one answers the phone no more, all you get is a bunch of excuses. Like When semi trucks start losing money, they're going to start hauling partials because it's cheaper, less pay, more pay, and they're going to take them. What are hot shots going to do? When reefers can't pull freight, they come to dry van freight, which makes more trucks. And then when it gets worse, they start doing partials and take away from the others. I mean, I'm just asking, like because I see everything out there that's so crazy. Everybody, you know, there you pay giving dispatching services the money to work for them when they could be running the business themselves. Well, they're yelling about inflation, but they're not counting for inflation. They don't count for breakdowns. Nobody's counting for, uh, you know, everybody's hauling. You're hauling about cheap freight. You're yelling about the bills. I just don't, man. I just don't get it. I don't get the inflation, the drivers, the breakdowns, the fuel prices, the detention times. I don't get why you don't understand about not hiring drivers. The parts aren't here right now, breakdowns. I don't know why you guys don't take time to understand the business setup and the difference between an LLC and S Corp. I don't know why you guys don't take time to understand the processing of license plates and how the PIN numbers work and how to even use your PIN number and update your stuff and what the word BOC3 or UCR and why it actually works. You just pay somebody to do it for you. You wonder what 2290s are and 2290s are. You don't understand about why am I running my trucking company here? What kind of trucking company am I going to run? Am I going to do company drivers and where do they got to be housed? Well, what kind of owner operators am I going to add? And does my state have it? And what kind of insurance companies actually insure those type of policies? The state, what will it cost? And how much can I grow before I even talk to the insurance company or even start the authority? Man, you don't even think about insurance claims. You don't even ask. You know how many guys get put out of business because they don't even take the time to find out? Is if my type of truck, flatbed business, and some straps break and they got to pick up pipe all over the place, shut down the interstate, and bring out two tow trucks to do it, and it's $75,000. How much do you guys cover? Oh, you only cover 25. You think about accidents and procedures. Most people that own one truck think they're invincible, but they're not because they're an employee of the federal government. And if they were to hit this lady named Mabel tomorrow, what would be the first five things they would do to keep them from getting sued? They're like, why does everybody want to get sued? Because you're now worth $1 million. So what's the first five things you do while you're tragically panicking over killing this lady? And are you protected anytime there's an injury? you know, you're an employee now of a business. You're not a company employee for somebody else no more. Now you run your own company. And when you add on more trucks, are you prepared to duplicate that to others? And then you wonder why you can't recruit all the time because all you're selling is freight chasing. You never had a product. And if you had a product, you definitely aren't selling it because I can see your ads. If you were using a dispatching service, how did you ever build a product anyways? And how did you don't. All you do is sell what they tell you. You don't understand about direct bill or finance or how they're going to hold the money up. I mean, most of you guys are out there. If we ran into your company right now, you'd be using somebody else's stuff or another service. But what you don't understand is you're the one that's going to pay the fine. I mean, these guys are coming in. You listen to their verbiage, the way they talk. They're also hungry to make money in the gold rush, but they ain't got their compliance in order because they haven't had no trouble with it yet. But once they're in trouble with it, they can't haul freight no more. Now they're worried about compliance. They don't have no maintenance programs, but they're always yelling about people getting inspections, out inspections, services, but they don't know what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it. There's no outline. They don't know what they can spend or if they can even use money on additives because they don't even hold out maintenance for themselves because you haven't taught them. You expected them to know. There's no monthly safety meetings. There's no safety trainings. There's no pre-trip, post-trips. There's no accident training because accidents never happen. You literally never drive down the road and have accidents. None of you guys. You never drive past accidents. It's never going to happen to you. It's never been luck. You guys expect everybody to do e-logs just perfect, but you don't really train them on them, and you don't do continuous training, And you're not even in charge in the maintenance training. All you're doing is worried about borrowing loan and money when they have a breakdown. But every time you pay them, you don't teach them about doing any preventive maintenance. When the whole time maintenance and logs is what destroys your only livelihood to make money. But who fucking cares? Fuck it. My biggest thing is how to build relationships with brokers and acquire carriers. Are you talking as a dispatching service or as a brokerage? I can't see everybody. What's up, Jared? Dab's in the house. I was listening to a customer talk to his dispatch service, and he complained that the load was crap. I told him because you're a dispatch service, has nothing invested in your company, or why aren't you dispatching yourself? I don't have no fucking idea. Does the map webinar cover power only rates? Yes, it does, for the map and routing training as a dispatching service. Well, what I think, I'm not a big fan of dispatching services at the moment. I haven't been for a while, but I mean, if you were a dispatching service, what would you have to offer me? I mean, the first thing I'm thinking about your dispatching service is a carrier. Well, if you're so good at what you're talking about, why don't you have a trucking company? What do you offer? I got one truck. I'm an owner operator, or with an owner operator and company driver. I mean, what do you offer me? What can you do better than I could do myself? I mean, I can fill out a packet while I'm thumbing my finger down the road. You're going to call me up and tell me what you talked to somebody else about. I can go to them direct and do it myself. I can pretty much plan myself out probably 5 loads at a time because I know what I want. This isn't shareable. It's shareable. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff. That's a whole different story about getting clients and brokers. They're not hard to find. You just don't know what you're doing. Because brokers, you go to eCarrier check and find millions of brokers city by city, or you can go on the load board, type in city by city, and there's brokers posted. And you need to start calling them and directly networking with them. Now, if you don't say the right stuff, everybody thinks you have to have an MC number to start networking before you know. You don't. It's a lot of it's the way you talk, right? Like if I call up a broker, I'm like, hey man, I'm new. I just started yesterday. I'm as green as a fucking whatever. And how long do I have to be in business to haul for you? And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm going to use a lot of fucked up brokers and mess up a lot of your loads. Would you like to work with me? It probably won't work. But if you were to go and pick 4, 5, 6 different cities that you're going to work out of and you want to sell a product there, and you went and found a whole bunch of brokers down the road, you called up and you kind of knew what they were doing. You're like, hey, Steve, man, I noticed that you guys are doing lots of dry van freight. Matter of fact, I got like 20 of them or 10 of them. And, I noticed that you guys are going to need some trucks coming out in these days right here, coming out of this city, going to this city. And I'd really like to work with you. If I was a carrier and I had a few trucks, what would I need to do to get set up with you, especially with me being local? I'd probably do most of my freight with you. And then if that don't work, just hang up and call back and tell the first guy's a fucking idiot. You want to move freight with them and you want to get set up. Are they really going to be that strict when you haul with them all the time and call them out on it? Then that still may not work. But most of the time, a lot of brokers, if you know what you're talking about, what you're doing, gotta go. Talk later. Bye, Deb. You know what you're doing. You get past a lot of people. A lot of these companies will work for you. You know, the ones that are brokers that don't want to work with newbies like that are people that really utilize the load boards a lot. They get more restricted on the load boards because they're too busy to build relationships. And they know if they don't get more older people on the load boards, they're going to have a lot of claims. That's just horrible. And it's crazy because these load boards, when you go on them, it's like double brokering, triple brokering, co-brokering, people from call centers, virtual assistants, even dispatching services have got confused, and they're fucking posted on load board because you talk to them on the phone and you're like, yeah, I want this load from the port going over here. And they're like, yeah, I got that. The next thing you know, you're like, why am I calling C.H. Robinson for Jim's brokerage to pick up a load? Because this dumbass got it from C.H. Robinson and told you he had it, and changed the rate con to it because he thought that was a fucking tender. And you're going along with it. If you would even have caught it and he would have got that rate con right, you'd have probably took it. It's that kind of stupidity on the load boards. I just don't understand. Because if you were smart carrier, if you were a really smart carrier and you were in this on, or like you said you were when you started opening your trucking business, you guys would build a network of 100 brokers that where you're at, like a 150-mile radius and around where you live and stay where you live because it's going to be cheaper to work on your truck on the weekends anyways to be on the road. And you would go and you'd use carrier check and start finding a bunch of carriers on there that work around you and kind of see who they're pulling for, what customers. And you'll know that let's study those customers or call those carriers and find out what brokers they're hauling for. You'll be surprised when you find them on carrier check. You won't find none of this information on a load board like DAT or that spot market right there. It'll amaze you guys like crazy. And by finding carriers your size, build a network of relationships. And what if you could get off the load board by just sending out emails and work in some consistent areas that you don't even need them from day one? I don't know why people just don't want to learn this business the right way. Maybe it's because they don't want to hear all the stuff we talk on the channel all the time about the liability, the risk, the claims, the things that's going to happen, the spot market, the revenue. Because I see a lot of guys out here that are working for a lot of good brokers and a lot of customers that are making anywhere from 260 to 375, $4 a mile. And they're doing it all day long, all day, and they're just trying to find as much as equipment as they can. They're trying to find they just can't scramble fast enough. Then I see other people out here that are buying one trucks and box trucks and company trucks and doing rentals and high price payments, buying brand new trucks at 250, and they're all counting on everything to stay as high. And inflation's through the roof. You have to be able to pay your bills. Then you have to learn how to cover them if you can. Then you have to learn how to protect that situation and grow from there. People aren't doing that. They're relying on dispatching services, virtual assistants, brokers that have no clue about liability and risk claims, drivers that are free for all. Everybody wants to be an owner operator. There's no fucking trailers to get. And if your truck breaks down, there might be a part away. You part 3 months away. What is your plan? Like every one of those things can be covered from the get-go if you do the right insurance, you pick the right location, the right type of freight commodity. As a dispatcher to bring on trucking companies, you should probably know all this stuff too, even though you don't run a trucking company, or maybe you're not a broker. You better understand all this because if you're doing this for a company, you should be better than they are, not just one part. You should be a smart dispatcher wants to take one company and turn it into 30 trucks, not run 30 different trucking companies. It's the dumbest shit ever. You know what I mean? Anyways, hope you guys are having a great time. I know I talked like crazy. I just had so much stuff on my mind. I felt like I was just quoting because you just see it all over Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, all this shit, and then more shit. And then people are just falling for more shit. And it's like it's not that easy. There's a lot more risk. You don't have enough money. Your not credit's going to do it. Just because you had that happen, it's going to hurt you. You don't want to do that yet. You should be an owner operator longer. No, it doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. You don't need to get a brokerage just to broker freight right back to yourself. You can do that with your carrier. No, I got you. Okay. Anyways, hey, me and Frank are going to be discussing a lot of this stuff tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We're doing the real trucker talk with me and Frank. You guys know you love it. Bring your alcohol, get your popcorn, put earplugs in your kids' ears and all that shit. February 21st, we have about 12 spots left for our broker webinar with Corey and Frank and Angie and Marie and Tom and me and Jared and Jay and Nick and Alex. And there's just a bunch of people teaching that class. And then the next week, and then we take a week off. We come back in trucking. We have map and routing training on February 26th. That's cool. It's all live. Guys, make sure you're learning and networking and researching. And it freaks me out when I see this map right here, the spot market, because I make a lot of money off training, but I make a lot of money off residuals. And when I start seeing Then be more trucks than freight and rates drop. And people cussing out drivers and saying brokers are crooks when carriers can get their own fucking customers, or carriers can find the different brokers that have the rates they want. No one's putting a gun to their head to fucking take the rates just because you don't want to do the work and network and other people are. Or just because some guy's equipment's paid off and he's got his money back and he don't need as much. Or maybe you guys are out there and they don't want to work in art or they don't want to run a certain area. That's not our problem. Just because you want to keep that to where it is, or you don't know how to network, or you're a one truck guy in a big fish market, and if you can't get so much, you can't stay out there big fish because of inflation, you got to catch up. Hey, that's why there is the privilege of diversifying, adding multiple streams of income. If you're just a one man show running trucking company fighting the odds, you don't have to be that guy. There's other stuff you can do to change it. But if you're not willing to do it, then you probably will be calling everybody cheap ass freight haulers. Everybody does this, that, blah. Brokers are crooks. The government sucks. I get it. I get it. Be that guy. Let people run your business. Don't be in control of nothing. Never understand how to take your brokerage, your dispatching, and your trucking and put it into 2 to 10 year and a bow tie, and where you can actually keep your money by using helping others, diversifying your fleet, and let it all flow as a business, like a wheel. You know what I mean? And like where you're making all the streams. I always look at mine on the board back there, and I have 7 and 8. When one starts to go down, I freak out and I start working harder on more on another one. It could be dispatching, it could be selling insurance or equipment financing, it could be working on my factoring residuals. It could be helping Corey fill up more freight with the customers or helping him get more agents. It could be if I still had the dispatching service, making sure if I want to raise, I go add 10 more trucks instead of 30. We need 40. Sorry, it's going to be February 26th for it's very important. It's just like learning your map, right? Like going out there and learning the difference between freight chasing and relationships and a trucking and a broker world. It's totally different. Learning why you could build a huge network in your area doing different things on that map I have in my head that have fucking nothing to do with the spot market. Well, I guess you would have to do the work yourself, right? And the research. Because once you start doing the research, then you would actually see the lanes and see the problems that brokers are having, and you might understand what customers you should be going after and how to talk to them, right? But you don't do that. Because we're using a dispatching service, or we're not in control, or we think because we work with CH Robbins, TQL, or Coyote, or Command, or one of these brokers where you only work for them. I get it. Just like when you work for a dedicated thing where you bid a contract and you keep yelling for 3 months and 3 months is too late. Right when you finally get to the point where they're going to raise the rate to help you, the guy quits because he couldn't do it no more. And a new guy comes in and chops your rate by 35% more than less than what you thought you were going to get cut because he can get other people to do it. And you got 17 drivers that have been doing that same thing for 2 years. I get it. I know people like dedicated. I don't understand it because you could go and pick 2 cities and find 25 to 100 brokers with freight going between those 2 cities and work with 5 or 6 to each one of those and make it too, right? Probably make more. And then you don't have to stress out when something comes up because you have leverage of other people to work for. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to get on here. I've been on here about 30 minutes, man. Love you guys to death. Hope he gave you some nuggets. Guys, get in the training. Check out the map training. We'll update the website for here in a minute. It'll be up there. We got web boot camp training coming up. Our classes are explosive. Your brain will hurt. Just make sure you're doing your research when you're starting these trucking companies and brokerages, and you're doing all this business. These people are feeding off you, teaching you the weak stuff, and it's not the hard. There ain't nothing hard about this, man. These people that run these businesses that make big money, $500,000, millions of dollars a year, they might have a hobby car. They're not the Corvette driving. They're not in Porsches. They're not driving first class all the time, freaking eating fucking those huge big old steaks I see on that one video. You know what I mean? There could be some, but I guarantee you some of the smartest people I ever met that taught me business wore flip-flops, fucking rummy sell pants and suspenders and kept their money in 5 banks. You know what I mean? And they probably didn't buy the Porsche 911 or whatever the fucking BMW, whatever those cars are. I don't even know. Like the most expensive car I've ever had is the Ford Mustang out there, my F-350. I will get some more cool stuff, but I'm always working so hard to stay ahead of the Joneses, stay ahead of the game because I like that nice stuff that I don't understand what a lot of those people are preaching because it's not like that. What's up, Kenneth? But I have to run because I have class tonight and I got things to do and I've already missed my phone calls today. But man, everything's rocking and rolling. Authorities are coming in. Guys, keep sharing the information. Me and Frank will be here tomorrow night live at 8 p.m. Eastern in all the groups. We're going to be talking about brokerage, rates, economy, fluctuations, a lot of stuff, taking control of your business, all that good shit. Thanks, Jermaine. See you in class, buddy. All right. So, guys, the best thing we can do is to have you guys keep spreading what you learn and keep sharing the videos. Share, share, share. Guys, have a really great day. Always remember the first thing we do is research everything. Then we build a network. We go and then we understand the product that we want and the plan, right? And then once we have that, the first thing we need to do is to cover our plan with diversity. We can't always be counting on one thing. You know how many times people have counted on that one paycheck and it wasn't enough? Or diversify, diversity. And then what happens after that is you build a wheel and you start helping others, right? And then, because some of the best teachers, best people in the world is because you had a team that you're working together, helping others succeed just like yourself. Anyways, peace out. Bye, guys.